Let's record what we're doing. So just looking, come on, Visual Studio.
Sir, are you sharing the screen? I can't see anything.
Yeah, it says I'm
Are
sharing.
you sharing?
Yes.
Because I can't see anything.
Well, mine says that it says at the bottom you are sharing the screen. Can anybody see it?
Okay, okay. Okay, I will check.
Yes,
My
yes,
phone. I
yes.
will change the. I will change for the laptop. Okay.
Okay. Sorry. All right. So I do have some things that are holding up my processor. I see my processor. Okay. Actually, that was Visual Studio. It was taking a bit of time to launch, so that might have affected the screen. Can you see that now, the Visual Studio?
No, still can't.
Still can't. Let's see.
Yes, I can.
Some
Sir?
can. I can't. Yes.
Sir, can
Maybe
you
a
change
problem my
your
side.
sir, can you change your lighting mode? Because I think that's because it's dark. That's why it's a bit hard to.
All right.
You click that setting thing on the bottom left and then change it.
Right. The setting thing on the bottom left for
Left,
Zoom.
left.
For Zoom or for
No, for the
Yeah.
Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, I didn't see the setting thing in the bottom left, but HTML, select language mode. Oh, bottom left, sorry. I was looking bottom right. What is it, this one? Settings. Is that in Visual Studio? Oh, okay. So what I'm going to try and do is you want it to be, you don't like dark. I kind of like dark, but okay. You don't like dark. Can you tell me, can you see it where I would look? Workbench window?
Sir, no, click the setting and then click color theme.
Color theme. I got
Here.
it. Yeah, got it. And
then
dark, and maybe we can go to some
light
light. Where's light? Night blue?
on the top.
Oh, quiet light, light default. Like that?
Yes.
That's what you like? You like light. Okay.
Yes.
So maybe you
Because
can
then
see
I'm
that
not blind.
because you're blind.
I don't see well in the night or the dark.
Okay, so maybe you can see this now. How's that? You see that now?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Is that better? Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's a lot of light. And it took a little while to adapt to the thing. So our colors changed quite a lot. But so our tags are now a purple color. Yes?
Someone is in the waiting room. Her name is Nasra.
Okay. See if we can find her. Sana is also in there. Let's admit them all. Najla and Sana are there. Okay. So that's like 21 people. We get almost everybody in the class here now. Okay. So what you need to do, and what you need to do is you need to have this kind of a tag at the start, which is your doc type tag. The HTML tag comes in pairs, and yeah, so when I highlight the one at the bottom, it highlights the one at the top, at least. Should do it when I highlight the one at the top too. Maybe I wasn't highlighting it quite right. Then the head is going to be the first thing inside the HTML. Then the body is going to be the next thing. So that's how I would make it. I would start with the doc type. Then I would do the HTML. At that point, you probably should save the file, save as. And when you go to save as, make sure that you save it as a, the file name is of the right type. And I'm sorry, I don't have, this is also a dark color. I'll change that for next lesson since you guys like
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, can we put our name in the file name?
That's a good idea. That's even a better idea. Yeah, please do that.
And also student ID.
Yes, you can do that. So like here, Doha Camel, you can put your name and your student number like that. And then find a place to save it. It might be that you decide to create a folder for it. But so when you've saved it, that's only when you've saved it as an HTML file will the colors come up. with the help from the Visual Studio. So you should have a HTML, pair of HTMLs, a pair of heads.
Mr.
Yes.
Can you let Sarah in?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. These are all pairs, not all. Doc type's not a pair, but HTML's in a pair, heads in a pair, bodies in a pair, and then headers in a pair. We put the pair on the same line. And notice in the header, I put a H1 tag. Can anybody say what's the H1 tag about? It actually tells you, doesn't it, on the screen? But can you say?
The font size. The font size.
Header?
Yes, it's for a
Heading one.
for a heading. Yes, H1 is the boldest heading. So when we use H1, it's going to be the biggest, boldest heading that we've got. Then we've got a nav tag. Nav tag, we just made it up, but the thing is, these are reusable code, I would call them, because we could be making a website with many, many pages. And probably in all of those pages, that's why you do a template first, right? It asks you to do a template. So we would use that template for all the pages in our website. So they would all
Mr.
have, yes?
Can you let Abdurrahman in?
I'm letting everybody. Yeah, so it should be there. So I lost my train of thought there. What you want to do is, if you have a template, and that's the idea in the exercise. If you look at the exercise, you'll see that, and I can't really get to it right here, can I? I'd have to make this reduce it. But if you look at the exercise, you'll see that it talks about saving a template and then going ahead and doing the camel exercise. So the idea of a template is that you've got a file that you could reuse the code in. So we could reuse this code amongst many files that are part of this website and maybe part of another website. That helps to give us this idea of consistency. That is where we have multiple pages that have things about them that are the same so that they sort of hang together as a integrated website, which sort of looks professional. And how we can do that is we can take code and we use the same code in multiple files. So for example, this nav code, the nav tags and whatever we put in the nav code, we would copy that and put it into another file so that all the nav looks the same. Now, while we're looking at the nav, we see something a little strange there, maybe, ampersand NBSP semicolon. And this is in the video. If you look at the video, I talked about this quite a bit, so I shouldn't talk too much about it, I suppose. But this is how we put a space into HTML, because hitting your space bar in HTML doesn't make any difference. All right. So the browser doesn't care about spaces that you put. If you want it to have an extra space, you actually have to do this. Now, when I say an extra space, it does pick up the space, a single space between words. That's going to be okay. But your double space is not going to work. If you want a double space, you're going to have to physically put in this little bit of code. Likewise, if you want a new line, you can't just hit enter and get a new line out of. So what I mean by that is, have a look at this code here. There I've got 3 lines of stuff, right? That when that's displayed in HTML on your browser, it'll all be 1 line. Now it'll wrap around if it gets to the end of the window, but it's all just 1 line, even though we see it as 3 lines. If I want it to be 3 lines, I can easily do that by putting in a BR tag, a couple of BR tags, right? So if you want a new line in HTML, you're going to have to use a BR. If you want a space, you're going to have to do this ampersand NBSP. Now, the other things that we've got there that is kind of different and strange is we've got this ampersand copy. What ampersand and then this special code, there's a bunch of these and you could Google and find out what they are. But for example, ampersand copy just means display at this point the copyright symbol. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so what does that look like? You see, I just saved this file. I hope that you can see this, but I just saved this file a few minutes ago. If I double click on it, it's using the Firefox browser. So Abdurrahman is waiting again. Sorry, Abdurrahman. Couldn't hear me, but this is what you get. Now, this is not the way it said to do it in the instructions. The instructions said an unordered list, and I've given an ordered list here to show you the difference between ordered and unordered. Ordered is going to have numbers, but it could have the numbers like this, ordinal Arabic numbers they are, or it could have the Roman numbers, I, double I, triple I, IV, or it could have alphabet A, B, C, D. There's our copyright symbol. It's just as it was in the thing. Now I want to show you, so I'm gonna
Sir, could you let
yeah, I
let
just see them.
and Jem?
Okay, so now if we, can I make this smaller again? Where's my, oh, there. That should have been smaller in the first place. So we see these numbers. That's because I've made this an ordered list. There's two different types of lists. There's ordered lists and there's unordered lists. Going to now make it an unordered list. By UL means unordered, OL means ordered. So when I save this, I'm going to save it now, Control S. And if I go back and refresh the browser, you'll see that the numbers went away and to become dots, because this is now an unordered list. So you have a choice of what kind of list that you want. The specification for today's lesson was an unordered list, so you'd use an OL. Now, I was telling you about the last list item. So the LI stands for list item. Do you notice that it's all, it depends on the size of the window, actually. How is that displayed? So if I can stretch this window, sorry. So if I make the window really wide, then we see that's all one line. I'm talking about this camel ears thing, right? That's all one line. If I make the window a bit smaller, you see that it can become a much smaller, so you see how it wraps around. So that's what's going to happen with your text, is it will wrap around. Will wrap around if you make the window smaller. See it wrapping around there. I've got down to 3 lines. And so be very careful with that, the size of your window when you're looking at your web page, because you might be making your web page up and you've got this window and you think that's exactly how it's going to look. But, you know, maybe people are going to have a small window, or maybe they're going to have a big window, and that will affect a lot the way that the web page looks. But this one's wrapping around there now. Now, what I meant by the new lines, supposing I put a new line here, BR. BR stands for break. And I'm not going to, you will see then this camel ears are furry will be on a line by itself. Even though the hairs keep the sand, etc., is all seems to be on the same line in the editor, when I put that into the browser, it'll be on a different line. So I'm going to save that and go back to the browser. Where's my browser? Oh, that's not the browser. Oh, well, it is, but it's the wrong browser. This is annoying because I can't see my, where's my browser? Oh, what the heck with that? I'll just get it from here. Okay, so there it is again. Now, do you see that that it's on a new line? Because I put the BR after the furry, so all this other stuff came on a new line. That's how the BR works. What else should we look at there? I think that's, yeah. Anyways, I think I've sort of covered everything that's sort of in there. The footer, the same logic goes with the footer as for the header. That is, we're going to probably copy this and put it into multiple pages, so it'll look the same on every page. There's other things that we'll do to get that consistency. I'm gonna pause talking at the moment now because I really talked a lot, and I see there's some messages there, and I want to see if I'm gonna pause. Go back.
Sir, could you let me in for my laptop?
Sure. Let anybody in. That'd be Sarah, I guess. So yeah, going back to that, the question was about the nav tag. What's the significance of the nav tag? What we're going to do in the nav tag, and by the way, these tags are, it's up to the user. I mean, you didn't have to call it nav. We could have called it something else, right? We could have made a div there and then assigned the div to some name. But nav tag is nice, and it's kind of a standard that most people are using in their websites. And typically what we're going to put inside the nav tag is going to be maybe some images, maybe some words. Here we've got words, and then we would add some hyperlinks to them. So this is not completed. This is a sort of a nav tag, a nav area, a nav element, I should call, that's semi-developed. It's not fully developed because we haven't put the A tags around the words. So we'd need to do that next. We'd put these words, each of these words would have an A tag around it, and the A tag would have a H reference, which would then link to another page, which would probably be somewhere in this document. We will get around to that later. So yeah, nav tag is for navigation. I hope I answered that okay. Yeah, I don't think I need to talk. I'm just going to record that. So how we do that again is we make sure that we've got what we want in a folder. We right click on the folder and we send to a compressed folder. And then it comes out, it kind of looks something like that. And that's what we upload.